All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of What's What BR. We have Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome back with us again. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been beautiful weather here in our great capital city, and that always makes me smile.
That's I told somebody, I think over the weekend, this is kind of weather I'd write a check for if I could.
Yeah,
If it could just stay like this.
for
So,
sure, for sure.
absolutely. So, lots happening in your neck of the woods these days. Kind of just dive in. I appreciate you making time every month to just kind of drop in and tell us what's going on. What's probably top of most people's mind? I know it's been top in kind of your guys' place. What's our latest numbers? Where's data showing us in the kind of COVID front? Is it trending down like we see? Is it we're
Yes,
good?
it is. It is. We are making progress in our battle against COVID-19. We have had a total of 63,000 plus cases since March of 2020. We've had over 1,100 deaths due to COVID since March 2020. We've had 271 people or patients who've been in a hospital and 46 on ventilators. But as of now, 50%, this is the good news, 50% of East Baton Rouge Parish population has completed the vaccine series, including myself. And 55% has initiated the vaccine series. And additionally, 66% of the population, adult population 18 and over, has initiated the vaccine. So certainly while the statewide mask mandate, as you know, is over, we still want to encourage everyone to really take safety precautions to protect the health and safety of themselves and their families. Brandon, there may be some individuals who may still want to wear masks because maybe there's someone in their family who has some type of immune deficiency. Well, it's okay to do it if you want to. It's up to the individual right now. And as we get ready, which I'm eagerly getting ready for the holiday season, it's especially important that we still remember those mitigation efforts for COVID as we get ready for the holiday season. And of course, we still are encouraging people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And for more information, they can go to brla.gov/COVID. That's brla.gov/COVID.
Yeah, no, that's definitely in the positive direction, right? That's as I talk to people, I tell people all the time, as we started kind of doing this show, gosh, I think we're almost 200 episodes in, and it's been kind of since March, right around that shutdown. And you can, if you go back and watch, it started out with people just kind of in wonder of like, how is this going to be possible? What are we going to do? And you kind of see it morph like all the way through to where now we're not done with it, but everybody started to talk. Not everyone, majority of people, it's kind of talking this. Hey, we're getting ahead of this. We're beating this. It's past tense. We're open again. This is the new way. So it's kind of neat to see kind of the way in here. If you spot check some of the old shows in the beginning, people are just nobody knows what to think.
Right.
Now it's kind of like, hey, remember when that happened? And we're talking about it in past tense. So it's good to see we're getting there, but we do have, which it's almost like the timing couldn't have been, worse, it seems like, but we're about to roll right into, like, we're rolling out of a COVID and rolling into a flu. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And so many times, I've talked to some people who have questioned whether they still need to get their flu shot. And the answer is yes, you should get your flu shot. And because the mitigation measures for COVID-19 certainly help us reduce the rate of infections during flu season. But when you get your flu vaccine and your COVID vaccine, then you certainly are mitigating the 1-2 punch that could come towards you. And we always encourage everyone to elevate your comfort level, to get accurate information, to speak to your healthcare provider about what's best for you.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I guess everybody's got their own situation, right? So that's, we can't tell everybody what to do, but go talk to a provider, let them tell you, I think we've said it probably the last 2 or 3 times you've come on the show. And I think I say it every time, like, people need to stop getting their news from Facebook and TikTok, in my opinion, and go talk to someone who knows what they're doing. And so
talk to a trusted healthcare professional of the situation. That's what we admonish you to do.
Yeah, stop making life decisions based on what you see on social media. I tell my daughter all the time, that social media, it's not someone's life story. It's really just their highlight reel. You don't see the ups and downs. You just see all the great news. Then when you see news, is it really news? Where did it come from? That's a whole nother, story there. So find someone trustworthy, fact check. That's where I say.
Absolutely.
So tell me, we've talked in the past, I think we kind of, I don't think we necessarily announced it, but we've always talked about this drainage project from the beginning and inception of, I remember talking with you, and it was about, hey, if you have problems, report them in. And it was just an incredible amount of information, that you guys got from, I guess, your own teams, the public reporting information in. But how is this drainage is a big deal for everybody. And so where are we with that?
Well, we are making progress as it relates to drainage work here in East Baton Rouge Parish. This summer, I proposed that we use $20 million of our American Rescue Plan money to address critical drainage issues in our parish. So let me tell you what we've done with those dollars so far. We've removed 4 million pounds of sediment from over 3,700 storm drain structures. That's 3,700. We've cleaned over 70,000 linear feet of pipes. And we're scheduled to present our second proposal of American Rescue Plan allocations this week to the Metro Council. And I will present my plan for the next funding of the next pot of funding, if you will, for our American Rescue Plan dollars. And now when we do the next plan, when we come out with this additional plan, which you will soon hear about, we're adding another $20 million for drainage funding. And so it's going to help us do additional box and pipe cleaning. It's going to help us do roadside ditch cleaning. It's going to help with the improvements to the Jones Creek watershed and channel clearing for 9 major channels in Baton Rouge. And you probably heard, Brandon, that now we are working collaboratively with our surrounding parishes of Ascension and Iberville to clean Bayou Manchac. So all of this funding will provide a very needed boost to the ongoing drainage work that's taking place in our parish.
That's exciting. For somebody who I've moved since, but still have the house. I had Bayou Manchac in my house in 16 in the flood. So it came in and had a little party in the house with a few feet,
Wow.
And so that's exciting to hear, and that it does have to be, because that is, I think Manchac's kind of that parish line, right? And that kind of where it kind of follows right there. So that couldn't have been something everybody's pointing at the other guy to do it, right? Like, y'all take care of it. But it sounds like you guys have been able to put a team group of people and say, hey, look, we're just all going to knock this out. It affects all of us. So that makes a big difference.
Water doesn't know what parish it's in. It doesn't say, I'm going to go to Ascension, to EBR, to Iberville. It knows no boundaries. But we certainly know the impact it has on our region, right? On our 3 parish region. And so it behooves us to work together and collaborate. And I believe the citizens also feel that progress is taking place when they see us working harmoniously together on a major issue like this.
Yeah, and I think, especially like you said, very similar to the water, I guess, if I can draw that crazy line, the citizens, there's so many of our citizens that are crossing, from Ascension, that live in Ascension, that work in Baton Rouge, that are going back and forth, they're just saying, look, we just want it fixed, or we just want somebody to address it. We don't care who it is, but but for everybody, I'll say, it takes a lot. It's not like I can call a buddy and be like, hey, can you come help me fix the fence? You've got a lot more work, that's got to get done than just, hey, let's go do this. That's, if anything, it's, where does the funding come? How are we going to do it? Who's going to be in charge? Who's going to own the project? Who's going to be responsible if something goes wrong? So there's a lot of moving parts that people don't realize. And so you say it like it's simple, hey, we're collaborate with Ascension and Everville to clean out Manchac, but it's a much bigger deal. Yeah. Than what everybody realizes. So
absolutely.
So again, getting things done. In the spirit of talking, we kind of, as I mentioned, we talked about that before. But from what I understand, you've got this new, is it the HOT team? Is that right? Or there's something. Is this a new program? Something like drainage was new when we first talked. Are we kind of talking about something new here that's going to be going on? This had something to do with the homeless and panhandling.
Yes. Yeah. Brandon, we have seen an increase in panhandling and homelessness in our community. Now, I will tell you, I want to put it in perspective. If you go to some surrounding areas, you could go down to New Orleans, you can go to DC, you can go to Denver, you can go to other cities, you can go to Austin. Let me tell you, our issues are not as dominant around homelessness and panhandling as they are in some of those places I named. However, our goal is to do our part and beyond to make sure that we take an approach to addressing this increase in homelessness and panhandling so we don't have major issues like some of those other cities have. So to that extent, we've developed the HOT team in partnership with the Sheriff's Office, Baton Rouge Police Department, RDPW, to conduct outreach and cleanups in various what we call hot spots around the community where individuals are panhandling or experiencing homelessness. Now, you may notice that we have signs positioned around the city that encourage people not to give money to panhandlers, but give them to the nonprofit organizations so we can maximize the impact of those who are panhandling. In addition, it is a safety issue as well. Trying to navigate sometimes people giving money to a panhandler can be a little challenging. And so our HOT team will make contact with individuals, offer them services and resources like housing and healthcare, food, substance abuse counseling, etc. And the Department of Public Works is doing regular cleanups at various hot spots like around O'Neill Lane and Segan Lane and Sherwood Forest and Drusilla Lane and other locations, particularly along the interstate. And so the focus is cleaning up litter generated at these spots, not their personal belongings. Litter, not their personal belongings. And so real soon, we're going to incorporate behavioral health specialists into the HOT team, and they're going to provide mental health assistance directly to people in need. And we also have a Mayor's Homeless Prevention Coalition. We just had a meeting last week where we are collaborating and conducting continued outreach to individuals in need. And so it's a coalition of about a dozen of organizations in our community. And look, Brandon, we know that the safest and healthiest place for someone to be is at home or in a home. And so we
Mhm.
also know that the best way to help someone is through a recognized organization or charity. And so that's why we put up those signs encouraging people to donate at brhelps.org.
And without trying to get into, like I've always said, this is never investigative. So if you don't know, it's not dig. But it does seem this is a touchy situation, right? We need a lot of these people needed our help, but it seems that this just kind of cropped up on us. Did we get? Have you heard? Is it more of a population, or are we just now noticing it more? Or like obviously we've had homeless, but it seems the panhandling at the intersections, I don't know, somebody told me it's kind of one of those flywheel or snowball. Once people start kind of some of these these homeless, or the people panhandling, sometimes they find hey, if I'm picking up here, you end up with a lot more people start showing up. Is it, or do we have any idea of what maybe is, if we just picked up a larger population, or any ideas?
I think it's a lot of different parts that to the homeless equation. I believe one is that we find that some people are being dropped off here in Baton Rouge because we do have some resources. Secondly, I think it's an increase in substance abuse and mental health issues that we are combating as well. And so COVID also,
Mhm.
it's a factor in this. But what we're also doing is we're doing surveys to find out and identify what exactly, or who I should say, are our homeless in Baton Rouge. Are they people who have been, who are who've been impacted by medical expenses and now can't pay bills and are homeless? Are there people with substance abuse or mental health issues who are now homeless? Exactly what's a snapshot of our homeless population? That way we can hone in and address it more specifically and intentionally.
Yeah, it's a very complex problem, and you've got to
Yeah.
be sensitive to it, but at the same time, you do have to address it, because it could get, I hate to use the word out of control, but it's got to be addressed. So it's pretty sensitive. So, but you had mentioned, with that you had law enforcement, and so to kind of jump, you also, there's the new program, the Connect Blue, or is it not new? But I think it was last year. To kind of
Yeah,
maybe just okay.
it was last year that we launched Connect Blue, which is a program that empowers our businesses or residents in Baton Rouge who have outdoor security cameras that face a public street to provide access to footage upon request of the Baton Rouge Police Department. So in other words, if a crime happens near your business or your home, then if you allow the Baton Rouge Police Department to have access to your video, it may certainly help expedite solving that particular crime. And so people can go to brla.gov/connectblue, brla.gov/connectblue for more information. And that is more, it is a component of being proactive, but really we're taking other additional steps to improve the public safety landscape here in Baton Rouge. Like I am proposing $14 million of our American Rescue Plan dollars for crime fighting efforts. So we are putting money to address crime in our community.
Yeah, and I think you had, put together, this program started last year, right? So people can just kind of go online, sign up. Is it, do you know, is it a real time access, or is it they just kind of know these are the people we can reach out to, and request footage? It's not that they're real time, access to your cameras, I don't think.
I don't
Right?
think it's real time. No, it's not real
Yeah.
time. It's as needed, right? And so then
Mhm.
when you sign up, then like, for example, they can know to quickly contact you and request your video. It'll help them put together a directory.
Yeah, that's what. And so, with that, is I saw you had some new things that you were proposing with this, program that we're about to come. Is that
Yeah.
some?
Yeah, we're the $14 million of ARP money funds that we're proposing. We're all for crime fighting, includes money for crime cameras, for license plate readers, reestablishing the police athletic league, and which helps the police in their work with at-risk youth. We're giving and investing $8 million for new police vehicles to update our aging fleet. We want to help provide our officers with safer, updated equipment so that they can do their jobs effectively. And of course, we were able to give this past year a 6% pay raise. Look, I'm sorry, last year, everything merges together. And so while we still have some room to grow in terms of our dollars that go to our police, this 6% raise last year was the first time in many years that a raise was given in our department or for our department.
That's good. Those guys could use it.
Absolutely.
If anybody, it kind of makes me wonder. I always say it's funny how we have these. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for, the athletes and the sports, but it seems like sometimes we're a little out of whack, when we've got, somebody who's playing basketball, making an incredible amount of money. And then we've got our teachers and police that are, down on that lower end of the scale that, it's.
I agree with you.
Sometimes wish you could balance up.
I think it shows a lot about our priorities,
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And I think I always say some of those, we can't fix it. And it's not, everybody should be able to make as much money as they want to go make and work hard for it. But I would say maybe they could try something a little different. Maybe if it was a little bit of those ticket sales went back, to some of these that I think everybody, police, yes, we should always, help and support the police, and our teachers, yes, maybe some of those groups one day will chip in, help a little bit. So Debbie, in line, right there, in that police, there's some things with, we're just wrapping up the domestic violence, awareness month, which is, it's a big deal for me. I know as you as well. So how was, did you see things, kind of, do you think the message got out a little bit, or did it get lost maybe a little?
I think the message is getting out, but it's a message that we can't reiterate enough. Because we have seen a definite uptick, not only here in Baton Rouge, but across the country. We've seen an increase in domestic violence. We are fortunate here in Baton Rouge to have the Capital Area Family Justice Center, which combines local resources under one roof to make it easier for women and children to receive the support that they need. The team connects with people with local resources, such as IRIS, the Butterfly Society, our law enforcement, the district attorney's office, Baton Rouge Children's Advocacy Center, legal services, and countless other resources. So people can call a 24-hour crisis line if they're in need. And I'm going to give that number out. It's 225-389-3001. 225-389-3001 is the crisis 24-hour crisis line for anyone who feels threatened or is a victim of domestic violence. So I think it's real important that you use, make sure that your phone is not being monitored, and be extremely cautious when you talk to others for these resources if you're a victim.
Absolutely. No, it's a horrible situation for anyone to be in, but there's so many resources out there. And I know a lot of people feel like, when they're the victim, there's not anything out there, or there's nowhere to turn or nowhere to go. And there is. And that's where, make some of these calls and, reach out. I think I've talked to almost everybody that you mentioned in that kind of listen between the folks over at Iris, talked with them, the advocacy, legal service, all of them. Everybody wants to help, but it just sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees, when you're in that situation. And so it's just, you got to take the first step, and that's what it's, once you do that, you'll realize, and if nothing else, if you can at least, as we say, kind of raise your hand and let someone know, then you got someone that's looking back, kind of maybe checking on you, when you need it. And so it could make a difference, and they'll help you get out of those situations. So it's amazing that we have such good resources here for that.
I agree.
So, well, look, I appreciate you spending some time with us again today.
Well, I appreciate
you got a million things going on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here, and hopefully your viewers will find this information helpful. And if they ever have any questions for me or my team, they can go to mayor@brla.gov. That's mayor@brla.gov, and we'd be glad to facilitate any questions or and connect folks with resources.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate everything you're doing. It's a busy time. I tell everybody, especially you, you're one of the more popular guests we have as far as show goes. People like to hear and see, I think, the direct communication and just kind of hear, the little updates. So you got a lot more important things to do than sit around and talk to me. So I'll let you get back to your day.
Well, this is important because you're reaching our citizens, and so I appreciate the outlet that you afford me to get the information out. And let's keep it going. I know we've got about 2 more. Well, let's see. This is November, so 1 more month, and 2021 is over with.
Yeah, it still seems like it was yesterday. I was sitting just at the house, kind of everybody had gone home and was sitting there going, is this really happening? And it was, kind of maybe April of 20 last year. And it's just like, I don't know what happened. Like we just got here, it's kind of been on autopilot moving through. So we'll all get through it. As my grandmother used to always tell me, this too shall pass. So.
Indeed. Thank you, Brandon.
All righty. Thank you. Bye.